Mit Farbe.
Okay.
Bis auf Platz 11 zurückgefahren und das sind nur 36 Hundertstel. Insofern ist es hier eher.
Dynamischen Football gemacht?
Aber will nichtsdestotrotz sage ich auch, unsere 3 Mails. Die Läufer gestern gelobt, die 7 platzierte Jane Chanel mit der schnellsten Seitungsweite. Zurück und dann starten als
Second and final day of the BMW IBSF Skeleton World Championships. We're in a jam-packed Winterberg in Germany, ready for the third and fourth heats of the women's skeleton this morning and the men this afternoon. Well, after torrential rain yesterday, today dawned bright and sunny, and now there's a tiny little bit of icy snow in the air. Well, whatever it is, everybody's less likely to get wet. Our third heat sees our athletes start with the fastest, the overnight leader first, and running down through the order. Then they'll go in reverse order for the final heat. I'm Martin Haven, delighted once more to be joined by Romanian slider Mihai Paceanu. And Mihai, it's a really, really tight leading group. The top 7 covered by just 0.2 of a second, but the world champion, Olympic champion rather, Hannah Neisser lying in third.
Yeah, it's a crazy battle, and I wouldn't take away from the battle also Kimberly Boss, who is just 11 after day 1. And the ice conditions looks much better. It's colder outside, was cold in the night, and it's a little bit sunny, maybe a little bit snowy. We never know in Winterberg, but for sure we're gonna be closer to that track record today, and we'll give to everyone a better chance to fight for a top position.
Just saw 21-year-old Tabby Stoker from Great Britain. She lies in the silver medal position. She is 0.03 of a second behind the 19-year-old from Canada, Hallie Clark, the sensational overnight leader. Clark was second, Stoker was third after the first heat, and then the first heat leader had an issue and barely left the line in time. Could not get a helmet done up, Kimberly Boss. And the helmet was then moving around during her run. She was unable really to see and dropped from the first heat lead, as he said, down to 11th position. She's 0.36 back. Hannah Neisser, conversely, 7th place after the first heat. She jumped up into the bronze medal position. But from Kimberly Boss, 3.600 up to the leader. In the wet conditions, you could lose that amount of time just by going late on the track. Let's see what the colder weather does. It should mean the track remains more consistently fast. And there's Tabby just adjusting her sled. Coach Joe Cicchini on the right-hand side with Hallie Clark. Second world champs for Hallie. She raced last year in St. Moritz as an American. There's Jackie Pfeiffer, the local heroine, or one of the local sliders. Again, she's a big medal threat. She's in 6th place, only 1.600. Suzanne Kreher, the reigning world champion. She's in 5th place, only 1.400 off the lead. So 3 Germans in the top half dozen, an Olympic champion and 2 world champions. And ahead of them, 2 bubbly, excited youngsters. Will they hang on? It's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting to see as well what maybe Mystique Rowe and Kimberly Boss can do on drier conditions, on more normal conditions on this track.
Exactly, it's going to be very interesting. We have a way harder ice, and I think there is a lot of pressure on Hallie right now. She's first on the hill. She has a better start number than yesterday, perfect ice conditions, and I think she has the chance to be one of the youngest world champion ever. I
was trying to figure out how old Tristan Gale was when she won Olympic gold in 2002, and I think she was older than 19 there, definitely. 62.4 kilometers an hour through the first speed trap. 5:29 is quicker than she started in either push yesterday, but this is a different track. It's
just look at the ice, how it looks. It looks so shiny, it's like a mirror, and I think she's gonna be at least 1 second faster. Look at that, 92.5 in the Kreisel. That's
big skid from 6 into 7, the Kreisel, and the change is more likely to suit the Germans who know the track really well.
97.8, that's almost actually more than 5 kilometers more than yesterday.
Yeah.
That's a very nice run from Hallie. 1:29.4 is insane speed. Yeah.
58.20 yesterday was the fastest.
57.17, 1 second faster.
Yeah.
And that's, whoa, actually that's just 4/10 out of the track record.
Oh boy, yeah. Kimberly Boss set the track record here in December 2021 at a 56.70. So 4,700s off that. It is a very different track. Her second run yesterday in the driving rain was 1.8 seconds slower than this.
We see that skid, it's gonna be very tough to maintain the sled straight. Yesterday, even if the track was super wet, but it was super slow, so it was kind of balanced, but now it's gonna be totally different story.
Well, the deal here is because it's much smoother ice, much harder ice, the skids will actually cost you less than when it's wet and soft, but they'll be a little harder to control. So Tabby Sturcker then, 21 years of age from 23 years of age from Great Britain, her second World Championships as well.
We should see a start under 520 here. I'm expecting that.
Made her World Cup debut on this track last year. She
was one of the most consistent girls, third on the first run, ninth on the second run. With those ice conditions from yesterday, that's very consistent.
James Howard behind the coach, along with Marty Stukors and Matthias Guggenberger. This is where we find out what setup works. Wow.
A very nice line out of zero, first velocity, and let's see if she can maintain it. Right now, she has an advantage.
63.0 kilometers an hour, 0.6 of a K up on Hallie Clark.
Oh, little bit skid there out of 4, and that's pushing her late, and another skid out of 4, so it's gonna be, let's see the time. She lost a little bit, but yeah, second best speed.
Okay, but cleaner into the Kreisel, didn't have the skid that Hallie did, so it could come right down into single digits by the next clock.
Little tap there, another skid. Second best speed, 600. She is losing. She is losing. Normally, she has a lower speed than Hallie in the entry of 14. Yep.
600s back.
Oh, that's not good for her. That's not good for her.
She was 300s back after the first heat, and she comes across the line, 1600s back.
That's gonna be tough for Tabby to remain there because the next sleds are very, very close.
Well, there's so much more, excuse me, so much more experience in those who are coming back of this track. Tabby made her World Cup debut here back in January 2023. Junior World Championship silver medalist on this track as well. But she only had 20 runs before training.
Out of the grooves, she steered a little bit. She entered too early in zero, but she managed it well. And here it was the mistake which cost a lot. Here is a flag session, and look how she's drifting and is pushing her so late in 4.
She is just so excited to be here. One more run to go. Now then, Hannah Niser's fan club were very quiet after the first heat yesterday. She was only 7th place. She's the Olympic champion. This is her home ice. So she is desperately trying to make sure that she comes away here with a world gold as well. And only 600s off the lead from the first heat. She is a massive threat.
Let's see what she can push. 5:44, exactly same as first 2 runs. 3 runs in the same time is not easy to do it.
And her consistency was strong yesterday. 7th fastest in the first heat, 8th fastest somehow in the driving rain of the second. But 2600s back. Hallie Clark's getaway gives her a really big early advantage. Niser is going to have to dig very deep here.
2000s back, and she has the fastest speed. She's the first one. She didn't do any mistake in that section of the track, and now she will come. She will come. I think she's going to be on green numbers at the finish line. 500s already, 99.1 speed in curve 9. That's almost like a bobsled in training. That's super fast. Let's see how much she has now.
By how much?
Wow, just 100. It's very close.
Changing conditions were always going to favour the Germans, who know the track best of all. And across the line,
tie. 57.11. She recovers some hundreds.
Well, you looked at Christian Bauder there. Yes, punches the air because, yes, his slider is now tied for the lead. She's come back from 7th. And after the first heat, really looked a little bit out of it, but come back into the frame.
She had fastest speed so far, but I think she did a little wavy in 14, and that's why she's not in front right now. But look at those lines. She's just maintaining the sled. I don't want to imagine how sensible is her sled. Like, she's just using her feet without touching the ice, and the sled is just steering.
2200s behind after the first heat, 600s behind after the second, tied for the lead in the third. Now then, Kim Marmans knows this track very well too. There's a lot of support for her who've travelled down from Belgium. She was only 900ths out of the lead in the overnight rankings. Fourth fastest run in the first heat. Let's see if she can get in among the medals.
She's in the fight for medals too. 5:31, a little bit slower than yesterday. Third best velocity, but let's see how she can manage. She knows the track well, as you said, and I don't know if she ever been that close to a medal, so it's her chance.
Well, she only started a couple of hundreds slower than the leader, Hallie Clark, so 1100s back. But Hallie's faster velocity is still working for her by this stage. Now she starts to turn the deficit around. Second quickest, so behind Hannah Neiser, but ahead of Hallie Clark.
Let's see now, entry 9, it's looking decent. Second best speed, 800, and I think she's gonna be ahead of Tabby Stoker.
Yep, she should be ahead of Tabby Stoker.
Lines are looking amazing, and look how she relaxed.
Oh, she's coming in.
Second best speed at 900s.
900s back. She's not going to get the leaders at the line. A 10th back. This is going to be a one-heat shootout. And don't forget, they will go in reverse order with the leaders going last. So Hallie Clark, at the moment, would be the very last to go.
It started to snow, whoa.
Yeah, well, it's been putting down a little bit of snow. Most of the track is clear. And actually, it's sort of gritty, icy, tiny little granules, not big, wet, fat flakes of snow. So shouldn't affect the athletes too badly.
She is in the medal. She went over Tabby. That's most important. But let's see if she can remain there, because the others are also very close. But look how relaxed she was on the sled. Exit of 11, perfect. Very nice speeds. One more to go.
They all think they've got a chance, and you know what? The top 11 all are right. They all have a chance. So next up is Suzanne Creyer, the reigning world champion. Won gold in St. Moritz. And Creyer in only her second world championships. So last year in St. Moritz, on her debut in the world championships, she was the individual champion and won team gold as well. The team competition will be tomorrow evening for the men and women's skeleton. Second fastest in the first heat, rather 11th in the first heat, second fastest in the second.
5:38, she found 200s. Wow, that's amazing, especially after two intense runs. To find 200s overnight, that's not easy to do it.
Yep, and she knows the pressure is on. Suzanne Creyer, 1400s out of the lead. Basically, she needs to be a 10th of a second better than everybody to get in touching distance of that gold medal.
Exactly, but she's 4/10 on the back and just fourth best speed. Something is wrong probably with the setup there.
Yep. Now, maybe she expected the track to be a little
46.
less hard.
Oh, she's losing a lot.
Yep.
That's not the run she wanted.
It's the opposite of what she wanted. And actually, the German men yesterday, and until the second heat, the German women really looked like they had completely misjudged the conditions. And a very late exit. I think she's in trouble. She is going to sink 57.62.
Well, that's going to give a lot of chance to the others to catch her. That's not the run she wished, but she didn't do any mistake. And
no, and the setup just not working for her now. She's 5,100 slower on that run alone than Hannah Neiser, who's got the fastest trip so far.
But there is one more run. It's gonna be a reverse order. Maybe they're expecting something for the last run. It's not over yet.
Yeah, they will have worked. The thing is, you can't change your runners between the runs. You can only select them for the day. So if you think that it's going to warm up or cool down, then you maybe sacrifice a little in one of the runs. Hallie Clark and Hannah Neiser are joint leaders. Lots of noise at the start now for our long-standing local heroine, silver medalist on this track on her World Championship debut in 2015. This is her home track, Jackie Pfeiffer. She was the 2017 Women's Skeleton World Champion, and she is absolutely in the frame. 1600s back. This is make or break. The same as for Suzanne Creyer. If she lays down a smoker, she's in. If she misses out, then she's not going to get a medal.
5:49, that's second fastest time of her competition. And did you hear just that loud noise?
Yeah.
I don't know, I am having goosebumps, so I don't want to know what she's feeling right now, but she seems very focused and lines are just perfect till now.
Family and friends are always here, and she really gains a lot of energy from that, and having them ready at the start of the run, perfect. Now she's turned the deficit around.
Second best speed, she's coming.
And she always builds speed at the bottom. Her and Tina Herman are the queens of producing a winning run.
3200s, wow, that's gonna be very close. She's gonna put her very close there to third place, actually.
Third place, Kim Marmans, is at
27.
And she could make a quarter of a second below the Kreisel. Best speed of all for Jackie Pfeiffer, and at the line, 2300s back, so the gap has opened up.
She's in the game, yeah, just 1300s out of the medal.
Okay, yeah. And good news for Tabby Sturker is that Jackie Pfeiffer did not overhaul her. Tabs is just 600s away from a World Championship medal going into the final run. Well, I think she's got a smile on her face. She very often does here. And that crowd really helps her motivation, really just brings her in. You can see it is starting to snow more heavily now. It comes out of the roof and
but
down to
she
the zero.
Still had the fastest speed so far, so the track doesn't seem affected yet.
What's that? It's the gap down to zero where the snow comes in. But saying hello to everybody back home. Not sure there is anybody back home. Now, Jane Channel, fastest in the second heat, 58.47. She got the best out of a turning track that was just became mush by the end. Let's see what she's got. Third and fourth fastest starts, 5:25 in both heats.
Yeah, let's see what she can do. She was very happy to be back in the game after that. She managed it well. She managed it well in the end. She was very happy to be back in the game after that second run, and of course it's giving you a lot of motivation when you just win the run in the World Champ. So she is also in the game. She's also in the fight for medals, but everything depends on this run.
Winterberg 2015 was her World Championship debut. She finished in fourth place. She's had 2 fourth place World Championship finishes and a team bronze. 6 best speed, but 4 tenths back.
The speed is not there yet, so let's see what she can do. The ice looks a little bit frostier.
I thought so right from the beginning.
7 best speed.
And funnily enough, all the German sliders have gone.
Exactly, 6,500s on the back. That's not going to help her, and I think she's going to maintain her position on top C.
Holding on for speed in the final corner. You don't want to steer it down, so you often risk rolling off, and that's very common in bobsled. It's the Winterberg victory roll. Beat Hefty of Switzerland made a habit of winning 2-man races on his side out of the final corner. I think he did it 2 or 3 times, but not the run that Jane needed to keep her in contention for a top 6 finish, maybe, but for a medal, probably not.
Yeah, and there are still 2, 3, 4, 5 athletes which are very close to Jane, so it's going to be very hard for her to remain there. I don't know exactly what went wrong. Here is a little bit wavy in 14, but that's not the answer of that.
Don't think, well, that certainly didn't help, but that's an indication perhaps that she didn't have the control that she needed. One more. All right. This is Amelia Coltman's friends and family up at the top there. Amelia in her first World Championships. 27 years of age, raced here in Europe Cup and Intercontinental Cup, so she's had a few race weekends here, but not many. Both British girls short on experience.
5:35. 500s faster than her fastest run from yesterday. That's insane. How to find that overnight?
Within a quarter of a second of the lead overnight, within 1500s of a medal overnight. That's given her the impetus for an extra few hundreds now. Let's see what she can produce.
She looks very focused. You can see her eyes through the white visor, but it seems to me that her head is a little bit up, even if she has the 4th fastest speed.
She's not super familiar with the track. 4th fastest speed, 7th best start. She's up to 5th on the splits, 3rd best speed.
She's coming. She's going to be in the fight for the medals also.
Wow.
Let's see if she can recover something here too.
She's going to go
28,
by.
she's coming.
She's going to go
3rd
by
fastest speed.
Jane Channel and Suzanne Crayer and maybe Jackie Pfeiffer.
20
No.
for 500.
200s behind Jackie Pfeiffer.
Wow.
Wow, what a run from Amelia Coltman.
She climbed 2 spots and she's just 1500s away from the medal. We have a game on here.
She just blew by the world champion by a 1/4 of a second. Wow.
A run without mistake with very fast speeds.
Well, the 3rd heat is the one where you see sometimes a lot of change up. Look at that. She's working the shoulders, the
Exactly.
hips.
It seems like she wasn't feeling so cozy, or maybe that's her position. And her head is a little bit up, but it was a very nice
Thank you, Howard, and thank you, Andy. Wish you well.
5:35, yeah.
There's a happy Amelia Coltman. Now, what about Mimi Reneva? Again, never count her out on a track where smooth lines really count. 8th and 9th fastest starts in the 1st heat and 2nd heat, a 5:31 and a 5:30.
Exactly. She's also in that fight for a top 6.
Look how quick she was. She was 6th in the 1st heat, only slipped 3 spots in the rain in the 2nd heat. It was raining in the 1st heat.
5:31, same as her first run
Yeah.
from the competition. It's good that she's maintaining, and a 3rd velocity. That's
She is such a smooth, stylish slider. She just glides over the ice.
yeah, she's a kind of person who is always so calm and so chill, and that's the answer. Look at her. She's not moving. She's so relaxed. And I'm sure she knows what she has to do here. 2600. She's coming. 3rd fastest speed.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, look, she grew up in Calgary, and Calgary is a glider's track, and this is also a glider's track. This is really
2100. She's faster than Amelia
Wow.
Coleman. She can catch even Kim Elmas, I think. Let's see what she can do here.
Yeah, 2/10 back. If she's got good speed, she might be.
2600. She
Oh,
lost a little bit.
away.
7th best speed. She lost a little bit there.
5th at the line.
7,
just
32.
behind Amelia Coltman. 57.23. There's Kevin Boyer, the former slider, who's helping them out here.
She lost a little bit after curve 9. I'm not sure why everything seems perfect till there, and that's why she couldn't recover more. She actually just lost it a little bit. But
Nine
she,
is so different
yeah,
today, isn't it? Because of the extra speed. And look, she's climbing really quite high.
exactly. Probably that was the reason why she didn't have the fastest speed anymore. But
This track is insane because tiny mistakes you can barely see just murder
yeah,
your
she
speed.
isn't even watching here. She isn't even looking.
No, head buried.
Look at her, how calm she is. The experience is also the answer here. She has one more to go, and she knows that.
Now then, what about Mystique Rowe, our push world champion last year? Relatively little experience on this track, but she's had 2 medals in the World Cup, a silver and a bronze. She's quick, and she knows how to drive a sled.
We should expect another start under 520 here. Let's see what the American can do.
Well, 5:19, the fastest of the competition so far. And Mystique,
18.
5:18.
And very nice takeover from curve 0.
Well, 3/10 back, but we've seen you can find a couple of tenths on this track if you know how to drive it.
Exactly, a little bit flop out of 2, but look at that, just 1400s behind. Right now she's
Already
actually on
coming
third.
back.
Oh, but that drift wanna help. She's gonna lose a lot of speed, won't help, but the time isn't blotting that much.
No.
6 best speed.
All right, 1500s back. It will probably be more like 2/10 at the next clock because of that big skid.
1500, she's
Still
still not
holding it.
losing. Wow, that's
But another mistake, 7 to 8. She's clean from 9 to 10. Out of 13 and 14. The
oh,
final
she's in top 6, I think.
9th best speed. She will be 5th or 6th at the line.
Eighth.
No, 8th place. It's so close. 57.21, 200ths of a second faster than we just saw from Mimi Reniva. So she closes up to 200ths behind Mimi.
And she did mistakes. She had actually a lot of issues by driving, and she's still there. She's still climbing some spots.
Yep. And Suzanne Crea is in free fall. She's just getting pushed back by every slider. So the world champion.
21. She had the 5th fastest run, and here it was a mistake which you don't want to look how much she's climbing on the 4, and she's coming like skating. And again here 12:13, she was very high, but she managed it well, but it was already too late because the speed was gone, and that's why she's losing so much in that 14. But she's in 8th place on her World Championship debut, so
yeah.
And she's still close. Look how close it's everything. 2,400ths
away from the bronze medal. That's up for grabs. 10 down, and the remaining 17 sleds in the field still to come. Here is the big story of yesterday. Disaster in the first heat. In the second heat for first heat leader Kimberly Boss. Barely left the start line before the clock finished. She had trouble with the padding that she has in the chin of the sled. Got caught in her buckle.
5:35. Slowest start of those 3 runs. 8 best velocity, but Kimberly, she can drive.
Yeah.
And she proved that directly from the first run when she won it. Yeah, she had
a superb first heat. She led by a couple of hundreds, but she looked so in control, and then couldn't do the helmet up properly for the second heat, and it was dropping over her eyes.
4,700, but she has 3rd fastest speed.
And this is what she does so well. Just had a quick word with her coach, Kristen Bromley, that builds the sled, and said, how's she feeling? Very disappointed after
39,
yesterday.
so she's actually recovering.
Really determined.
She was just 3,600 behind before the start line, and now 1,400.
No, she needs much more than this. The speed's not there. The medals have gone for Kimberly Boss. 5th best run, but the medals have gone. 57.21, only as quick as Mystique Rowe. She needed to be 57.10.
She climbed in some spots, but
the gap's 4/10.
Yeah, are growing. The gaps are growing.
Wow. An unexpected, a bizarre disaster yesterday. You see, she's really cut her chin. The tape on both sides now to protect it. But that's not the blinding run that she needed.
It's happening, especially that they are coming from Altenberg, where half of the track you are just mashing with your helmet the eye, so it's happening.
Yeah. Well, after the first heat, she was right in the mix. Not anymore. So now then, what about Nicole Silveira of Brazil? There's Richard Bromley, Kristen's brother, who's building the sleds for Nicole and for Kim Malmans.
I think Nicole, with a good run, she can get very close to a top 10, which would be absolutely a huge result for Brazil and for herself.
Look at her second heat. You know, she had a slightly earlier start draw than some of them, had the 5th best run, so she moved up a spot. 12th place overnight, 5:50. All right, same as she started yesterday, but she comprehensively outdrove her starts yesterday. She was 19th starter in both heats, had the 12th and the 5th best downtime, so she really drives this track nicely.
Yeah, the track doesn't look that fast anymore. You can see that shiny ice, it's a little bit gone, but let's see if she can manage it well. A little bit drift there and a little touch before Kreisel, but she has 7th fastest speed.
Yep. Now then, will she claw her way past Canada's Jane Channel? And what about Suzanne Crea, the reigning world champion?
I think she can catch Jane. Let's see how she can do on this bottom part, which is very rough and very fast. 8,800s. 8th fast speed.
I'm not sure she's going to move up. It's going to be close. Not enough. So she remains at the moment in 12th place. And Mirambel, the Spanish coach, also helping out with Brazil and Belgium. Spain have got sliders both in the women and the men's field, so they'll have a team competition outing tomorrow night as well.
That's Elfie Willemsen from Bobsleigh, Belgium coach, and just because Nicole has a collaboration with Kim from Belgium. Probably that's why she's helping her. And look how jelly she is, how relaxed she is on the sled. And that's why she had one of the best speeds so far in the Intro 14.
And that's what you want to see in that slow motion. You want to see the body just acting as a damper to stop the sled rattling off the tiny imperfections.
Exactly, and that bottom part, it's very, very bumpy.
Don't fight it.
Mais uma.
Make the sled do the work. Now, that's something that Valentina Margallo occasionally dials into, but yesterday rather, it didn't quite happen. One of the fastest starters, fastest of all in the second heat with a 5:19.
I think we're going to see a fast start again, and if she can produce a run how he should, it's going to be interesting. I think she can climb some spots, but she needs a perfect run. Let's see what she can push.
Yesterday the setup was
5:30
for the Italian men and the Italian women. 5:30 is nowhere near where she was in the second heat. That's 1100 slower.
I don't know what happened there. Maybe she has some injury problems. It's already such a big difference to think that she's just nervous. So
she's done this too many times, I think, for it to be nerves. So you might be right. She might just be struggling with muscles overnight. 6300s back.
13 best speed. Yeah, she's the slowest.
Snyder, they didn't have the setup right for the men or the women yesterday, and it doesn't look a lot better today.
Yeah, 13 best speed. She's the slowest team now on the track, and
she's going to lose ground again, isn't she?
Yeah, she's in danger to lose some spots.
Yeah, I think so.
That's not the run she wanted. Again, the slowest speed so far, 126.9.
Oh,
57.11
is the fastest run. She's nearly 8/10 slower.
I'm curious.
You can't lose that much in one run and have any chance, never mind in 2 or 3 runs.
I'm curious to see her reaction now if she has some health issues, because something is not okay with that start. She's not too happy, of course, obviously. And look how she's dropping here in 11, and now she's climbing a lot at the exit.
First heat yesterday, she was 8700s slower than Kimberly Boss. She's nearly 8/10 slower than the fastest time, again in heat 3. This is not a good World Championships for the Italian.
Unfortunately, no, it's not the race she wished to have.
I'm sure they'll come back in the team competition. She already has a team bronze from Altenburg a couple of years back, 3 years back. What about Xiao Dan of China? Is there a chance that she could move up? Second world champs. Was here in the Junior Worlds in 2020. She's raced here twice in World Cup as well, so she knows the track. Youth Olympian in 2020. And an Olympic athlete in her home game.
And she had second fastest run on the second run yesterday. So she has potential. Let's see, 5:38. Whoa, fastest start so far of the competition.
Quiet zero curve down to turn 1.
Let's see what the Chinese can produce. They also had not the setup right yesterday, but of course the 2 young Chinese girls, they did also mistakes, but let's see if they can produce a better race today. Till now, it's looking good for Dan Zhao.
Yeah, smooth lines.
Plus 91 and a 7th fastest speed. She can climb 2 spots, I think.
7th out of 14.
A little flop out of Kreisel, that won't help, but she managed well. 8 and 9. 9 fastest speed. Excellent exit out of 9. Let's see 11 here. A little toe drag.
9 and 11, you really start to rocket down the bottom of the track. Only 12th best speed, though. Those 2 little errors are costing her. She's going to move up past Valentina Margallo.
Yeah, by 100.
Yeah, a long way back still from 3/10 back, from 2/10 back from Nicole Silveira, so...
Yeah, she moved 1 place, 100 more ahead of Valentina, and when you are in the middle of the table, that's all what you want, to try to climb and get closer to the others on the front.
Yeah, and there are so many tight little battles in this field. So the 2 of them 100th apart, and that means the next few sliders you either beat both of them or neither of them. So you get that 2-position jeopardy that we saw so often yesterday. They're learning the European way of racing with high fives all the way down the crowd. Well, what a disappointment to see Janine Flock so far back, the most experienced slider in the field in her 12th World Championships.
Yeah,
she made her debut back in 2016 in Innsbruck.
And she had a terrible second run yesterday, which was just throwing her away down to the standings. And she was first of the hill in the first run, and we didn't know what to expect. And probably she wasn't in the end so satisfied with the 10th fastest run so far.
She needs fast ice here. I beg your pardon. She made her debut in Altenburg in 2008.
5:50.
Her first medal was in Innsbruck in 2016.
11 fastest speed with 14 best start time. That's something which can give Janine a very nice run.
Yeah. The sled is tailor-made for her requirements, and she will have been working with Matthias Guggenberger and Martin Stukur's the sled program to try and get the right setup.
Very nice lines, and but she has 9 fastest speed. I think already the track slowed down because
definitely slowing, and that's going to make it very difficult for our 2 final sliders who are outside the top 25 to try and get into the 25 that go through.
But she's coming, and I think she's going to climb 2 spots. Let's see now the speed.
Still 15th on the
splits. 7 fastest speed. She's
Final
still
corner.
Found something, and she's
the line, 13.
She's ahead of Zhao Dan and Valentina Margalio.
Yep. And that final corner, you can go from being behind to in front,
exactly.
and you don't see anything happening, but it's so steep uphill that if you haven't got speed coming down the hill before it, it just destroys you on the way back up.
But yeah, she's far for what she was hoping for. Definitely, that's not her place on 13. She should be there for a top 6 for a medal fight. It's not a world champ she wish. But maybe we're going to have a chance to see her one more time next year in Lake Placid, and probably that's going to be her last world champ.
I would think, yeah. I would think the Milan Cortina Games will be probably her final weekend of sliding. That's what it is. That's what it is, yeah. And, you know, and that's part of who she is, stopping for selfies with the crowd while she's otherwise thinking about what goes on. 15 sleds down. Next up is the second of our Italian sliders, Alessia Crippa. And again, Coach Willi Schneider, he's the man who's coaching them, who's building the sleds, who's helping them with the setup. But yesterday was a tough day. 19th in the first heat. 6th fastest second run dragged her back up a little to 16th. But she's 1.3 seconds.
Yeah, here is a very, very huge gap between. It was between Janine Flock and Alessia Crippa, so it's going to be very hard for her to catch Valentina Margalio, her teammate, which is the last now.
Yeah. Valentina's only 1.18 back, and Alessia was 1.3 back overnight. So she's
5:33, also the slowest start by far. I don't know what's happening with Italian girls today. I don't know if...
I think the start area is frosting up as well as the rest of the track.
Can be a reason. Look how fast it is there. It looks like the ice from a freezer. It's just, that's not making it fast.
No, she's slowing everything down and opening the gaps up. And with 3 German athletes in the top 6, and having the refrigeration on right from the start slows the track down for everybody else.
15th fastest speed. She's having for sure the fastest run of her competition, but that's far by climbing some spots. But it's going to give a lot of chances to the next one behind her because they are close. And let's...
across the line, 58.13.
Still almost 7/10 faster than she did in the second run yesterday.
But still 2,300 slower than Valentina Margalio, who was only 3 sleds ago. I don't think we're going to see any quick runs now. It's just going to get slower and slower
and slower. Exactly. Yeah, she made the gap to Valentina even bigger now, so it's gonna give some motivation to the next on the hill.
Yeah, Anna Fernstedt was only 600s behind Alessia Crippa, and she knows this track really well, but is there any speed to be found? Well, Alessia rising right at the end, which shows
that's
that
gonna hurt.
Brought the sled down a little too early, and the centrifugal force just pushed her back up. In the words of Kati Bile, whoopsie. All right, so here is Anna Fernstedt. Snorre Pedersen from Norway helping out with the coaching for the last few weeks. After training on Monday, Anna drove home to the Czech Republic for the funeral of her father and then drove back to race again in his honor. She had a great weekend last weekend in Altenburg. Another home from home for the former German slider, where she and Timon Dranowski took silver in the team competition on a track that was just getting soggier by the minute. 5:68.
Close to her second push of yesterday.
Yeah. Again, I don't think anybody's going to beat yesterday's pushes. I think the start area is much too fast.
Yeah, not anymore. Yeah, not anymore. Probably that start ramp just went slower.
Now, she will have driven this track in every conceivable weather condition because she started out sliding for Germany, made her World Cup debut the first couple of years in World Cup for Germany. But can she find any speed? And if she can't, there isn't any.
15 fastest speed, that doesn't seem like she can recover something. Still 15 fastest speed, and she's behind Alessia Kripa, and she's going to remain there, I think.
Yeah. She was only 600s behind Kripa. It could be close, but I don't think even Anna Fernstedt can find speed on this track. 58.49, so she loses 3600s on that run alone to Alessia Kripa.
Yeah, that's not what Anna wished, and it's not her best world champs.
Now, the real problem with Heat 3 is you start the fastest slider on the best ice and everybody else gets progressively worse ice. It generally just spreads the field out, which is the opposite of what you really want.
Here she overdrive it a little bit. Look how she moved her head and suddenly the sled moved her the nose. She was looking for that early entry in curve 4, but I think it was a little bit too much. And in the rest, there was looking good. Not any issues on the track, but she just can't find the speed anymore. those kids are fans of everyone.
Well, that's the modern equivalent, I suppose, of an autograph book that kids my age used to have. Jule Erlacher now from Austria. First World Championships for Erlacher. Raced here over the last couple of seasons in Europe Cup and Junior Worlds. And still very new to World Cup sliding. Only 8 races in the World Cup so far in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, she's a new Austrian rocket, 5:32, and look at that, she still found 100. That's the fastest start of her world champs.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and she has a velocity, so she has potential to do a nice run and to climb some spots. And I think she has a very prospective future. Like, she just needs to learn to slide. Imagine if you put Julia start with Janine Flock sliding, is going to be a nice mix there.
Well, you know, what a great teammate to have in Janine Flock. If you can't learn anything from Janine Flock, then you really aren't going to learn. So.
Exactly. She has a lot of learn. Oh, that was a big skid. And another one.
Yeah, she's really set the sled up for speed on what she expected to be a frosty track, and there's not quite as much grip as she was hoping for. And unfortunately, she was up ahead of Anna Fernstedt.
And I think she's still up. I think she's gonna
at the line.
Yep.
17th she is. Picks off Fernstedt.
Yeah, but it was such a big potential. Actually, this was a very nice run. With those mistakes, she still went faster than Anna, and I think she could catch even Alessia Kripa. But those mistakes there, 7, 8, 9, those kids were huge. And
this is a very different track. Yesterday 59.4 and 59.0. Today 58.3. So she's 1.6 seconds quicker than her first run.
And look at that. Yeah, Kreisel was very wavy. We saw earlier a very big skid out of 13, and this one is huge. Here is just killing your speed, and he's pushing you very late in 9. And then you have to steer harder again, and so on.
Well, Austria's got a bright future, I think, in Jule Erlacher. Next up, Elin Peltmans, the young Belgian slider, her teammate Kim Marmans. They train with different groups. Elin trains with Kimberly Bos, so it's the Netherlands and Belgium, whereas her teammate trains with Brazil and Spain. 5.50 getaway again, her fastest start of the competition.
So maybe it's still speed there at the start ramp.
Yeah.
They found something. And Elin has a lot of positive vibes to take from these World Champs. Look at her second run, 10th fastest run. That's insane. And let's see what she can produce here. Lengths are looking very nice till now. Not any drift. 15 fastest speed so far from 19 sleds.
First ever World Championship appearance. She was a youth Olympian in St. Moritz 2020. So
2 seconds and 33 hundredths behind. She can catch, I think, Julia Erlher and maybe Anna Fernstadt too.
right. This could be a moving up run. 2.53 back.
14 fastest speed is going to be very close with Julia, but she
Gets Anna. No, she doesn't. 100th behind Fernstedt.
and look, that's 14, and that's why there is so important to have speed. So she was before 14, she was ahead of them, and she just lost there almost 2 tenths. Yeah.
Well, there's Kristen Bromley helping her with the sled. But a big smile from Elin Peltmans. Yeah, final corner didn't go the way she needed, but she was on to move up a couple. Again, those skids, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, they're definitely not helping. There's a lot of that today. And here's 11, not too high. Got to keep that height
she
on
has
late.
did decent lines, but the speed wasn't there.
Yeah. All right, 19 down. Here is our 20th slider, China's Yi Yuqi. And Li Yuqi in 20th place. Xiao Dan, her teammate, in 14th at the moment. Li did not have an improved second heat. She was, after the track had really started to deteriorate, 17th in the first heat, even slower in the second, and that was not because it was so much mistake strewn, as just the track was jelly by then.
Exactly. Let's see what she can produce. 5:46, slowest start so far, but she's also in that fight to catch maybe the Belgian girl, maybe Anna, maybe Austrian girl. So depends what she can do here.
300s behind Elin Peltmans, but she was 100th ahead of Italy's Alessandra Fumigali, who comes up next. So again, 3 sleds, 300s. Going to be a very tight battle.
If I remember well, her runs yesterday, if that wasn't her teammate, she did a lot of mistakes. It was a messy run with a lot of drifts. So 18 fastest speed. This run today looks more decent.
She outstarted Elin Peltmans and briefly got her nose in front, but back down to 20th place at the moment. 2.7 back.
15 fastest speed, but I think that's not going to be enough to catch someone. Yeah,
Not quite.
Yeah.
58.41. So she, in fact, was another 1,800 slower than Elin. And again, almost every sled we've seen come down is just getting slower and slower, with a couple of discrepancies. They're getting slower and slower and slower. So the track is losing speed, frosting up.
But she's growing. She's still young. She has a lot of experience to gain, and she's gonna catch the 4th run. And I'm not sure that was the goal. Probably everyone was wishing more. Look at her beep. She was 15 on the start hill, so being around 20 place is not what you were expecting from her.
Well, she was 21st in St. Moritz on her debut last year. She's in 20th at the moment. We have 7 to go. 3rd heat of the BMW IBSF Women's Skeleton World Championships in Winterberg in Germany. First 20 sleds down, 7 to go. Alessandra Fumigali, 100th out of the top 20 after the first 2 of 4 heats. Let's see if she can make a difference.
She has potential. She had a very, very rough run on the debut, on her first run, and that could be a very nice run actually. And then she couldn't find actually the rim. 5:33, again slower than last 2 runs, but look at that velocity. 9 fastest speed and 18 velocity. That's not what you want.
So she's not getting through the zero curve.
Little tap there before 4.
And you go uphill.
Very late entry, 5, and that's not a run she should do here. 21 fastest speed, that was slowest so far. It's not the best day for Alessandra.
It's her first World Championship appearance, Alessandra Fumigali. Best result in World Cup races on this track ever is a 21st.
Oh, big hit there. That's actually curve 10 there. Even if another hit of 13. Oh, very rough run again.
Yeah, that's an uncomfortable bottom end of the track and almost on her back.
58.73.
Well,
that's not the run she wanted,
That
such a nightmare.
might leave her in trouble making the final heat.
Yeah, she's 3 seconds 20 behind.
Well, she's gone from 1.6 to
Wow.
3.2. So her deficit in one run has doubled.
Exactly. Yeah, she's in danger. There is actually curve 10, which we are always ignoring, but there is a curve, and that's what's happening when you.
We never talk about 10 because you basically go straight from 9 to 11 and nobody hits in 10.
Exactly, because when you are sliding, you not even know that there is a curve. Just when you went for a track walk to see the lines there, you can notice. And look at those scorpion kick. Oh, she cracked her back so well here.
And that's why they spend so much time stretching and flexing.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh,
warm-up is very, very important, yeah.
All right, 22nd in the first heat, Sarah Schmidt. Now, she was only a 10th out of the top 20. The young Swiss slider in her second Worlds. She made her debut at home.
Another one.
That's like the first heat. She came off zero and skidded both ways.
Yeah, she's the youngest athlete on the field. She just needs to take every positive things from this and to learn and put it for future, because she has a very big potential to fight in the next World Champs in the next years for top place there. She did a lot of mistakes, but she still has a faster speed than Alessandra.
Well, it's going to be tight. I think Fumagalli might be in trouble for the fourth heat. She probably will get away with it. Sarah Schmidt is also having a bit of a rough bottom end of the track. Again, when you're inexperienced on this place or anywhere else, and it changes so much, you know, it's gone from being a wet sponge to being a shiny floor.
3:42, she's last, yeah. So Alexandra is safe. This was a very bad run for Sarah, unfortunately, but she has one more to prove us that this was just a mistake. It seems like she didn't have control on her sled. Like there were mistakes everywhere on the track, skids, and everything started from the start. And
over-rotated there as well.
Exactly, can be a reason. Maybe she didn't find her position directly so well, and that's why, look, directly a huge skid. And she didn't do anything, and then another one, so maybe her position on the sled was a little bit wrong.
Well, the other thing is the runner is in the groove, and when you load sideways, you push the runner against the groove. Of course it's slowing it down.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, just when you're trying to put all that speed into the sled.
See you in the next run.
See you in the next run. All right. 4 to go, and we're getting now into potential danger zone. This is Estonia's Data Zunta. Data made her World Championship debut back in Altenburg in 2020 for Latvia, then started sliding for her other nationality, Estonia, for whom she raced in St. last year.
Exactly, she is sliding for a very young age. She is part of my generation. She was in Youth Olympic Games in Lillehammer, and she was already having like 2-3 years of sliding when most of us, we were just new. And she started to learn to drive a skeleton in Sigulda.
So this is a very different nature track from Sigulda. Sigulda, you really have to hustle the sled here. You just have to breathe gently.
Yeah, her mom was born in Estonia, and she's an Estonian, so that's why she chose to change nationality.
Yep.
And she has very good driving skills. But that start number is not helping. Like she has almost the slowest speed so far, even without big issues on the track.
Yeah, she's going to lose about a second compared to her rivals.
Yeah, and she's on the line 58.94. Still fastest run of her competition, but not what she wished. She can produce much more.
Yeah, well, the track is a lot faster today, but not as fast as it was the better part of an hour ago. So the first few sleds were coming down in the 57s. Now we're nearly in the 59s. Yes, the best in the world are at the front, but it's not all about driving ability. Part of this definitely.
You can see that there's still a blizzard there on the start ramp,
Yeah, all right, well, 4 more sleds to go. Dartusunta not the only former Latvian here. The Germans have got a former Latvian skeleton slider coaching them as well, Lelda Pregelena.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
There
and
she is.
with the sled. She hurt him.
Yeah, well, helping out with Katrina Eigenmann of Liechtenstein. If you think Latvia's got a small population, Liechtenstein's population fits in Latvia's drawing room. Katrina Eigenmann then being helped out by the German crew. Again, Lelda, former slider for...
Probably Lelda was one of the, actually the greatest skeleton girl from Latvia.
Yep.
I think she's actually world junior champion on this track, if I'm not wrong, or maybe silver, but she fighted there for gold. I was there, and I remember very well.
576 getaway, so kind of where she was yesterday with a 76 and a 77.
Yeah, Katarina is still in a learning process. She's young and she has a very nice team behind her. She has everything she needs to grow. I don't know, she just needs experience, a lot of runs, and just to train. And look at that, 19 best speed so far. That's faster than our last sleds.
Nice and smooth. She's got a German setup on a German sled,
exactly.
on a German track. Now, unfortunately,
speed,
slower ice, but only just turned 22 last week. This is her second world, so yeah, she's got plenty of potential and nice smooth lines as well.
Yeah, still 19th fastest.
19th best speed, she's the 24th sled. Is she going to pick up a spot? Not quite.
Quite, but she's 24th place right now.
Yeah.
And normally she's safe with doing the 4th run.
I think so. Laura Vargas of Colombia and Ana Torres Quevedo of Spain, who are outside the top 25. It's going to be nearly impossible unless Julia Simpson of Switzerland crashes dramatically. And that's not the sort of track that happens.
Exactly, yeah, it's a very big difference. Unfortunately, the last two had a very
slowest
unlucky
ice in Heat 1 and slowest ice in Heat 2.
Exactly, yeah.
So Katrina will go through to the final heat. And Julia Simpson, well, mother was a slider, father raced bobsleds, granddad was a bobsled world champion, an Olympic medalist. So lots of sliding genes in his family.
And she's sliding also for a very, very young age.
Yeah.
And she was some years in the German program. She did some Europa Cups for a German team, and she has experience. She knows how to drive it. So let's see. Unfortunately, she was very unlucky with that weather from yesterday, which you can't prove too much. You couldn't show anything, and we saw that in the boys' race too.
Yeah. 573. Same as her first start.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, first World Championships, still a young slider. Julia's only 22. Same as we just saw with Katrina Eigenmann. It's all about experience. It's about learning what a 4-heat race is like. And that will be important next year in the Worlds and potentially in 2 years' time if she's qualified for the Olympic Games. There'll be all the pressure, all the noise, all the crowd, and 4 heats. And thinking about it overnight, Mihai, that's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, especially that you are used to just do 2 runs and, oh, that's it, I finished the week. But you have one more day, you have to remain focused, you have to get ready for that. And it's a complex thing, you know, because you have a lot of things to do. You have to prepare your sled, you have to get yourself ready also. And that's why he's making it special also. That's why it's the biggest race of the season always. And yeah, probably that's the goal also for the Swiss sliders. They are young to qualify for the Olympics.
Yep.
And they have a very rough criteria for the Swiss team, and that's why they have to grow and learn from every run.
Oh, she's running nicely parallel with the sled, loads well. The energy going forward, not sideways. And again, her lines are good. She's got good knowledge of the track from her years sliding in Europe Cup, and particularly with the German crew. So
she's gonna be in 4th round.
Yeah, I think she will.
Yeah.
So now it's basically the battle between Laura Vargas of Colombia, who was last in the first heat, but overhauled Ana Torres Quevedo of Spain. Talking to her last night after the final run, and she was looking a bit downcast. I said, look, it's just enjoy it. You know, it's sliding at the very best.
Yeah, it's normal, but when you spend so much doing the thing you love and you want to be better, of course. And unfortunately, I was also in her situation to wake up just to do one run because I knew it was impossible to catch the fourth run. And even if you want to prove that there was a mistake with the day before, the motivation is not the same. And
well, she's never raced on this track before in her life. So she had 6 runs in training, and then this is her 3rd run. So she's not even done more than you've got fingers runs down this track. She'll leave here after the Worlds with 9 runs on this track.
Exactly, and I think she cannot wait for the World Champs in Lake Placid next year because definitely she has more runs in North America. She knows that track, and there she can prove us.
60.47, and that is comfortably her fastest run of the competition.
But unfortunately, that was it for Colombia. World Champs are over for Laura, but I'm sure she did everything she could. She was also very unlucky with the start order, with the weather, everything. It just it wasn't meant to be this year.
If it had not been wet yesterday, then she and Anna may have had more of a fighting chance of getting in the top 25. But when you've come to a brand new track for the Worlds, you are always going to struggle.
And it's nice to see that they are developing some very small nations. Like you don't see often Colombia on the start list on the winter sport, so that's very nice.
Indeed. Well, she slid in her early career as a Canadian. That's where she lives, and now for Canada. Ana Torres Quevedo, though, live on La Liga in Spain. She did not start her career in Canada. She's Spanish born and bred, and her coach, Ander Mirambel, created this program, the little ladder now of Spanish athletes who have progressed from the very junior foothills now to the World Championship. So, Anna, Adrian Fernandez in the men's race will be back tomorrow evening in the team competition again, as they did in St. Moritz. 6:05.
That's second fastest speed for her. And yeah, imagine what, even if she is fighting there to beat Laura, imagine what pressure is on her. That you just told me she's going to be alive on La Liga in Spain. So imagine how many people are watching her. And probably half of them are not even knowing what she's doing here. Like, well, what's this sport? But she has to be proud of what she's doing to represent Spain.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah, to continue this legacy which Ander did, and I think she has also a very prospective future.
26 best speed at the bottom.
She made a lot of progress also in last years.
Little while through 12-13 transition. Gonna pay for it at the end. Yes, she does. 60.12, her fastest run by a long way. Fantastic. 61.52, 62.90 in the rain, and a 60.12 in the second heat. So she was actually 35 quicker than Laura Vargas, not quite enough to catch her.
That's it also for her. World Champs are over, but Anna, be
Not
proud.
quite.
Yeah.
Team race on
Oh,
evening.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. There is another chance.
Back again for the fun of the team race. They really enjoyed it last year, and I'm sure they will again this year.
Exactly. But Anna has to be proud of what she did here. She also did everything she could. She has a lot more chances in the future for better results at World Champs. And be proud to represent Spain here.
Yeah. She absolutely is loving it all. Lots of orange influence down the bottom. I think that was possibly a hug there from some of the friends and family. Hallie Clark is our joint leader going into the 4th and final run with Olympic champion Hannah Neiser. So the 23-year-old German Olympic champion tied absolutely inseparably to the 19-year-old Canadian. It's going to be absolutely fascinating. Neiser really moved up yesterday in the second heat. She was the only German slider really who found proper speed to get into contention, lying 3rd overnight, and then jumped up to wrestle Hallie Clark for the lead. Kim Marmans leading the battle for the medals just ahead of Tabby Sturker. Jackie Pfeiffer, Amelia Coltman probably not out of it. Mimi Reneva probably is, but she's got her own battles to fight with. Mystique Rowe and Kibli Boss. And then behind Kim, 1900s back to Suzanne Creyer in 10th place. She's a little on her own because behind her it's another 3 tenths back to Jane Channel, and then Nicole Silveira, and the rest of them come in a real rush. So the fastest 25 go through into the final heat. Julia Simpson will be first off, as she was in Heat 2, and that will be at 13:45 local, 12:45 GMT, 07:45. So that is in 40 minutes from now. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
Hände muss da.
Diese blaue Flecken.